Greetings, Twilight Struggle fans, and welcome to Game of the Week here on Action Round Zero. I'm Justin Abramson with you. Apologies for not having a co-commentator for this one. We just wanted to make sure we get something on the air for you. But this week we've got something a little different. We've got a team game for you. This is Nations Cup action. We've got Team Sweden, made up of Anton and Henrik. And we've got Team Netherlands, made up of Stan, Robin, and Ruben. And this one is a Nations Cup group play game. These two teams coming out of Group C. And we will get right to it. This is promised to be a good one. I'm told it's very much ARZ worthy. Going to be playing it at regular speed, but with some of the longer thinks removed. Per Anton, so thank you to our executive producer and Sweden captain, Anton Scott, for doing that for us. And we'll be watching from Sweden's side today. This is an interesting hand. We've got decent ops. We got 2s and 3s, so what do we got? 9, 12, 14, 17 ops, decent ops. We're going to headline Asia, it would seem, and I think, yeah, that's the only reasonable headline. De Gaulle's not particularly good here. Okay, Purge is quite annoying. So this looks like probably a UN of NORAD because we need the ops, or it could be a UN of containment. Problem is, if you UN NORAD, you're going to have to either space containment or give 5-year plan early. Asia dumped in the headline for 1 VP. This purge won't be too much fun. I think you probably want to start with a UN of NORAD. Then you can trigger De Gaulle for the event if Netherlands fills up France early, indicating Europe scoring. They're going to go for the coup. Need a 4 on this one. And they do get it. Roll a 5. That's a big sigh of relief for Team Sweden on the first roll of the game. This purge not going to be fun, but it'll be better after that. Now, of course, the problem is that can encourage a coup back. And if we do see a coup back, then Team Sweden doesn't really have anything to punish them with because they don't have access. So we'll see how they handle this. Oh, and they are going to go for 2-up coup and miss. Okay, big miss there. So now DEFCON sitting at 3, and I think if you're Team Sweden, you just don't want to give up that last shot at Iran, so you probably have to coup Panama and just lock down that portion of the board. I wouldn't want to do it, but I think you've got to. They do coup and they clean out Panama. Okay, so DEFCON down to 2 very quickly after 3 straight coups. Okay, and the interesting quick fill of France instead of taking Lebanon. That, to me, strongly suggests Europe scoring. Now, we're not going to be able to prevent a Dom here, but I like De Gaulle to stop Europe from being scored, although you could just take Lebanon. The problem with it is you don't want to use Korean War for ops with South Korea sitting at 1-0. You got to get something in there. Yeah, I think I like this play from Sweden. Puts the question to Team Netherlands here. They need a 3-op to reestablish Dom. They'd need a 4-op to reestablish Dom and take Lebanon. But I think if they had that, they would have spent it already. Both players still need to get presence in the Middle East. Sweden needs to get at least one into South Africa. They've got to, not South Africa, South Korea rather, of course. Korean War is probably going to have to go in there. Then containment AR5, 5-year plan AR6. So hand with a lot of 2s and 3s. This was a painful purge. Iran would have 2 in it. Panama would have 1 USSR influence in it if without that purge. Okay, they're going to use a 3 to refill. Oh, interesting. Not going to refill France. Going to take Lebanon. I would absolutely do a greedy Warsaw here. Yeah, I would like Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, and force Netherlands to play 3 ops to take Dom instead of just 1. Yeah, I like the greedy Warsaw. We're just going to go 1 in Bulgaria, with the thought maybe that they'll put another one in there once. Yeah, I like this. I like this play. It's greedy, could come back to haunt you later, but you've already got Comic-Con. EEU hasn't been seen yet. So I'm fine with it. Just make Netherlands as uncomfortable as possible in Europe and make it hard for them to get that Dom off. They want to sneak into Thailand, and they're not able to do it. It's AR4, DEFCON's at 2, and Netherlands is messing around in Europe and Lebanon instead of securing Thailand. I think that's definitely a win for Team Sweden. So Sweden now with 5 ops to play. I think this one has to go into South Korea. We've got to establish presence in the Middle East. So that's 2 of the 5. I'm not sure what the others do. Maybe take Iraq. I don't have a problem with this, but I think that could wait. I think that could wait because the U.S. has established they do not have Middle East. I think we could have waited there and just get that one into South Korea. But the flip side of that, of course, is Netherlands is unlikely to just put 2 into South Korea right away. Asia is scored and they have bigger fish to fry. Netherlands now knows that there's Truman. Okay, that makes sense. You clear out the access there, but it still doesn't give him Dom thanks to the greedy Warsaw. So Comic-Con and Warsaw given here. Containment could take Iraq, but then it's a 2-op containment unless, of course, Team Netherlands has Europe scoring, in which case it's a 1-op containment. You still have the option to take Greece. Yeah, I think I like this. Just preemptively take it, and then 5-year plan could take Iraq or could take Syria. I think if Netherlands has Europe, they'll dump it here. Certainly, they don't have there it is. They don't have a 4-op, so they don't get their Dom off. But De Gaulle is out of the deck. I like this. This is fine. De Gaulle is out of the deck. And Sweden with no access to France. So Netherlands probably happy about that part at least. Okay, and we'll see what Netherlands will cook up here. I assume they want to get 2 into Egypt. Or they don't. And yeah, it takes till AR6. That's wild. It takes till AR6 for I'm a little confused by that play. Blockade wasn't triggered, so maybe blockade was blockade it's got to be their hold card. If it were decall, they would have spaced it. D-stall is in the Swedish hand, but interestingly, it took till AR6 for either team to play into Asia. Normally, that early war, particularly turn 1, is a big fight for Asia. But okay, we move on to turn 2, and a nice hand here for the Swedes. They get 2 4-ops, they get D-stall, and they get a nice headline in CNS. Defectors is gone, so D-stall could be the headline, but I think Vietnam is better. And yeah, that makes perfect sense. You want to take Thailand. Problem is, you are going to give up a coup if you do this, and it might be a coup in Iran, which could lock down access to Western Asia. That Nasser was incredibly painful. I wouldn't. No. I would put 2 Thailand, 1 Laos in case you get a big number in Iran. Then we can go toward Burma and at least get India, even if we lose the race to Pakistan. If we're going to play 3 ops, I want this. Yes, 100% this. Interesting. Netherlands went with Middle East headline, where as if they could have gotten a big coup off here. Oh, well, they don't. Another big break for Sweden. And now they have the option to de-stall, and I think that's exactly what they should be doing. No, if that's your play and you're going to trigger independent reds, you want to take 2 out of each. If we're willing to give independent reds, we should take 2. I think you'd take 2 out of each. This says we're not willing to give independent reds. Clearly Venezuela, clearly Chile, clearly Angola. The question is, where does the 4th go? I kind of like Panama. Haven't seen D-stall yet, or haven't seen decall yet, rather. So maybe we'll get Nigeria later. Algeria, yeah, that sort of makes sense, but Netherlands can just take Algeria. I prefer Panama. I like this. I think this is a good play. And all of a sudden, Netherlands has... So they're up battlegrounds in Europe, but they don't have Dom. And all of a sudden, though, Sweden is ahead in every other region. Okay. Yeah, Marshall's annoying. U.S. Japan's annoying. This, I think, would be U.S. Japan to Iran to South Korea would be my play. Or at least 1 South Korea. Nope, just going to expand in South America. Okay, well, they are not as worried about South Korea as I am. And a poke just to be annoying here. IP war is around. Yeah, this is a tricky spot here. We have seen 5-year plan. This is reasonable, but that leaves Pakistan naked against the war. Yeah, I could see this. Romania would kind of be a nice event. But yeah, you've got to get 1 into Pakistan. I don't know if I like giving... I would be fine leaving Iran. Yeah. This is tough. Independent Reds is annoying here. I really don't want to give it. But I also don't want to give China with CIA coming. Okay, Duck just going to take Pakistan. That makes sense. Why risk the war? And now another tricky decision. Okay, they're going to take their 2 VPs, go up 5. Sweden not going to get Millops here. There goes decall. Okay, that further suggests the Netherlands has blockade. That was an extremely painful Nasser they gave up. So blockade is the only other hold card that makes sense. Sorry, folks, just gonna pop into the Action Round Zero Discord here. Maybe we can get a co-commentator lined up. Okay, and there is IP War. They put it back in the deck. Overprotect Pakistan, get one into India. Okay, and here are some ops, folks. Wow. Okay, we've got NATO picked up, Formosan CIA blockade AI war. Those aren't the cards that you want to get if you're Team Netherlands. Okay, and SOCGov's the headline. It's not gonna take anything long term, but this could be a 10 VP swing on Europe's. Yes, it would be a 10 VP swing in Europe scoring, or not. Huge defectors redraw there. Wow, yeah, that SOCGov's would have been a 10 VP swing. Now, would have given up a coup, which is quite painful on this board, but I think you'd be happy to do it to make the 10 VP swing in Europe. Okay. So, still, though, Team Sweden with a path to escape this Dom. I think you are okay. You probably trigger Suez for the event. Force Netherlands to have redrawn a 4. Marshal NATO in our hand. US, Japan gone. So, it would have to be Purge or NTB. Got a coup here. Question is with what? I think it's got to be EEU. South African makes sense. It's a 50-50 shot to knock them out. And they miss on the roll. Now you want to trigger Suez. Yeah, and that's annoying. You're going to have to... You got to take South Korea, I think, to stop the Dom. You don't want to give Marshall. NORAD is always annoying. especially because if we have a Dom fight in Europe, Netherlands may well fill Canada anyway, with or without NORAD. I think I'd put this in Argentina, probably. Or, yeah, Libya's fine, too. Not a lot of ops in the Netherlands. Oh, they are going to give Korean War. Okay. And it hits. Okay, that's big. That overprotects effectively 2 Asian battlegrounds. It also makes NORAD less painful. Hey, Max.
Hello.
All right. We got Max DuBoff here joining us. Max, if you can see my screen, I hope. This is a...
Yep.
We're sitting here on turn 3. And Sweden with a 5 VP lead. D-stall was triggered. D-call spaced on turn 2 and back in the deck. Europe is not known in the Swedish hand. And so they're going to try and get out of this Dom.
Very interesting. Yeah. So how did you said without decall, Sweden still got into Lower Africa there?
Yeah, so D-stall, well, we had 3 straight coups to begin the game.
Oh, with decall.
And then D-stall went into Panama, Venezuela, Chile, and Angola.
Nice, yeah.
And so they're looking good in the mid-war regions, but the Netherlands had quite a few ops, as you could see, turn 2. They made their way all the way from Israel into India, just brute force their way in.
Oh, wow. Oh, nice.
And a 4-op redraw, certainly not something that Team Sweden wanted to see.
Yeah. Now, what about a Marshall Jam West Germany? But that's probably not enough. So
They could fix that with AI War, is the problem.
Oh, yes.
If you had access to Sportugal, you could fill Sportugal and Turkey with Marshall, but they do not. I think you're going to lose this fight. You really don't want to give up NORAD here.
It's probably just more important to spread at this point. So give Europe maybe, and then just give up Marshall and spread in South America. Try to VOA proof at least the top.
Yeah, I like this play. Just spend the 1 op. You're spending 1 op to force Netherlands to spend 2. So so then they'll have just 2 known 1 ops, and then yeah, I think you spread out in South America.
Yeah.
Interesting. No Canada. Okay, so that's the question is Team Sweden feeling lucky? They could just give up on Europe. What would you do here, Max? Would you give up on Europe with Sweden with Netherlands holding 2 known 1s, or would you push it and hope their other card's terrible?
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good question. Because they only need a 2-op. I think I would give it up. Yeah. What would you do, Justin?
I think so too. If you fill your play really is to fill Turkey with NORAD, but then as long as they redrew a guilt-free 2, all Suez, Sakovs, and De Gaulle are all gone, or at least in the discard. So as long as you redrew something other than like decall, then they would be able to just fill Canada, and then it's a double whammy because not only are they getting the Europe Dom back, but they're filling up Canada. If you use Marshall, you can only take one country with it, so they can just repair with CIA. I think it was the correct decision to give up on it.
Yeah, well, I was thinking Marshall to jam West Germany.
Oh, that's true.
They would still only need a 2-op to fix that. Yeah,
that's true. You're right.
But they're looking so good. Sweden's looking so good in the mid-war regions as long as things reasonably hold that there's just no reason to take a big risk.
Yeah, you can afford this 5 VPs. Okay, well, you know what? We were wrong.
Oh,
they would have
wow.
It if not for you meddling kids. Sorry.
I'm still not sure it was worth the 5 VPs. I mean, it feels rough to give up 5 VPs, but that would have been really tough to not have at least a bit of cushion in South America.
I agree with you. You really want to VOA proof that. And this way, VOA is still very, very bad.
Yeah.
You're going to lose Chile, Panama, and then probably 1 out of Africa. ABM here will blunt that. ABM's nice. And then also nice to get Quagmire with NORAD held. so we can get rid of
Yeah.
NORAD permanently.
Hmm. Yeah. So Panama, I mean, I guess is givable, but nuclear subs can be spaced, and so probably I'd hold Panama and then see what happens next turn.
I think that's right. I think you space nuke subs. Big roll coming up here. Oh, and they hit it.
Oh, wow.
So they hit the roll on Pakistan, and
Cool.
now India. So now they have Dom in Asia, and not only that, India is naked for the war.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Now, taking a coup on Algeria, I guess, but there's no
Yeah,
particularly nice card to use for this. Uh,
I-
I guess NORAD is fine.
yeah, could use NORAD. Okay, they go for the two miss, so they're giving up Nigeria. That's fine, and then probably see.
No.
I wonder if we see South Africa, or excuse me. I wonder if we'll see a central dump right away before Mexico is filled to try and get that two VPs, or if we
Yeah,
see
that's
South African maybe triggered. Problem is, you don't want to put two in Botswana because then Angola could just get flipped.
well with yeah, no, that's true. That's right.
So you
Yeah.
got to put at least one in Angola. Ooh, that's annoying.
Hmm.
Well, we're fixing that with NORAD.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
But allowing the China's face down.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so
China's
that's fine.
face down because of Nixon. So I think we're okay with that.
But not gonna be many ops to address that
No. Quagmire's got
later.
to be an event. Nuke subs has got to go to space. Panama's got to be held. The war is a great event. And honestly, South African's a great event.
Yeah. Seems hard to pass up the war South Africa. Hmm.
Yeah. And at this point, I probably don't want to put any in Botswana because I want my Millops VPs.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so South African just for breaking South Africa and getting a couple extra cushion in Angola is still good.
Yeah, that's still pretty good. You could use it to take Argentina, but
Hmm.
okay, yeah, we
But if you're not going to be able to get the control, then Argentina's not that big a deal,
right. So now the
except for
question
puppet.
is: do you trigger the war and try and flip India, or do you use the war for ops and take Burma?
I think I'd use the war. What would you do?
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, I think I would too.
It'd be really big if it hits, and still no guarantee of scoring the Dom this way.
Okay, so right now it's 6 countries to six. This makes it 7 to 6 if my math is correct. No access to. Oh, never mind. Excuse me. No, Netherlands does have access to Afghanistan, so they can
Mhm.
easily stop this Dom. Even just a poke or a jam of Thailand would do it, and we don't have a good response to that.
Well, that's the problem. That Netherlands doesn't have that many priorities here. They want to take Mexico and Algeria, but unless they have any cards to get them into South America, um, all they really have to do is fight for Asia,
Yeah, that's true.
maybe Middle East.
Yeah, they want to take Algeria and Mexico, but that's it. Okay, so they're going to take Dom back. They're going to overprotect Thailand. They do spend the war, so they're not going to go for India. Maybe they forgot about the fact that Netherlands has access to Afghanistan. I don't
Mm.
know. Um,
Yeah, they can also poke North Korea.
that's true.
That's
Okay,
nice.
so they're going to give Southeast, and yeah, definitely like getting the two right away.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Netherlands didn't keep Usuri for maybe the end of the turn to try to score Southeast a bit more. But I guess they wanted to create the threat, and they were right that Sweden was kind of weak on free ups.
Yep. Okay, so good thing they put the Sweden put the one in Libya, and yeah, you've got to get Libya locked up now.
Hmm.
So we wanted to event South African, but this is more important. And now
Yeah.
Quagmire's got to be an event. Nuke subs is very bad, so that's got to be
Hmm.
spaced.
Hmm.
So no
Yeah.
more ops for Team Sweden here.
Yeah. And so Africa Dom is about to be taken by Netherlands. All they need to do is take Algeria, and if they have any ops, they can also flip Angola. Well, probably not time with playing Quagmire.
Yep. And they are. The other thing is, Netherlands has now seen both bad Angola cards. Okay, they're going to take Egypt. That stops Middle East Dom, and there's nothing
Hmm.
that Sweden can really do about that. I think you're triggering Quagmire here, right? Or are you spacing
Yeah,
first and then triggering it?
yeah. Either way is fine. Yeah, makes sense to space first, probably.
Oh, they're going to give this?
Are they waiting to headline Quagmire?
Uh, okay, I'm a little confused by that because I wouldn't want to allow, because I don't like the idea of allowing a jam of Panama or Venezuela.
Yeah, spacing just seems better than that.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
CIA is in the discard, so that it's not a CIA issue where we want to hold nuke subs. Okay, I'm a
Yeah,
little
okay, so they.
I'm a little
Hmm.
confused. Now, I will say defectors is gone and Canada's
Hmm.
not filled. So maybe they want to get him to spend the one op in Canada. Okay, well, mission
Hmm.
accomplished
Okay.
there.
Yeah. Hmm. So, but hmm. I guess the only problem here now is you're kind of locked into playing Quag. UN came out turn three, right? So we'll bury you would take away the missile envy threat and score the three VPs, but I guess that could be fine because you'd still take away NORAD, so it's actually totally fine to still play We Will Bury You.
Yes, that is fine. The problem with it is that you really want to coup Nigeria if you can. Um,
And also would leave Sweden without all that many ops,
yep. Now I'm
or
not
all the many free
sure.
ops.
Yeah, this is puppets and the Pope. Special is NATO active. We have no way to
Ooh.
poke there. So is this a self trap hand,
Yeah,
Max?
I was just gonna say I think I would. Um, that eating that Africa Dom is kind of rough.
Yep. I think I'd still coup Nigeria though,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Seems
that
better
seems
than
right.
Egypt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah,
that's a
that's
bad
tough.
one.
But at least it wasn't urgent because the scoring's out.
Right.
The only other thing I was thinking was possibly cooing Venezuela to try to get their presence out or their influence out there.
Yep. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Well, NORAD's gone. We did get Quagmire triggered. Okay, gonna overprotect. Gonna overprotect
Hmm.
Laos. Do we need to spend the four op here? Maybe okay. So I understand the two Chile. We're worried about VOA, but the second in Laos doesn't get us that much because right because
Yeah.
Netherlands just going to take Afghanistan
Yeah,
and then we're going to
that
take
seems.
Taiwan maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this Dom will be really hard to keep unless Netherlands just has a very rough hand. Like if they have Asia, it's hard to imagine them not being able to deny the Dom unless they have a ton of problems.
Yeah, and I mean yeah, and especially because they have China. So if you don't North
Yeah,
we don't have a good answer to North Korea jam. Okay, this is fine.
yeah. I'd really want to lock up the South America control. I think
Yeah,
that would be my priority.
I'm fine with this. I guess their thought was, you know what, if Netherlands had a card like Junta, they would have triggered it. Puppets is in our hand.
Well, so they did have missile envy, but had a more pressing concern with with the Africa scoring there.
Yep. Not sure what the status of Duck is. I apologize.
Mm, mm,
Okay,
true.
no surprise. Gonna play Salt for ops. You know that I am a fan of the Salt event, but
Especially with ABM around.
yep,
You grab.
yep, plenty
But
of
Salt
good
wouldn't be
stuff to
great here
get.
without cards to coup with. Hmm.
But again, we may have a mill-ops. It may be a mill-ops question. If you've without still
Hmm.
no path to mill-ops for Team
Hmm.
Netherlands.
Yeah. Hmm.
And Libs is a good event. You want to get that off before Mexico and Cuba are taken. Even with Central Scored, that's powerful. But you also, if you're going to self-trap, you want to do it early. And I don't
Yeah.
think if you space spare, you're not given the 2 VP of sped. I think this has to be a self-trap, doesn't it, Max? You could double space. You could double
Yeah.
space, maybe.
Yeah. I would really hate to give puppets, and I certainly don't want to give John Paul. I mean, special is givable, but this makes it
Yeah.
tougher. I would probably still just put three into Brazil and accept that I'm losing one of Venezuela or Brazil.
Yeah, you could just repair that with Bear Trap, and then it could get jammed, or you could just see him go Uruguay, and then we lose Argentina.
Yeah. So two Argentina, one Brazil is also fine.
Oh, they're gonna give. Oh, I don't like that. I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, the VP track isn't urgent, but two VPs does add up.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'd just take Brazil back, force them to spend one AR getting into Uruguay, then another into Argentina. Um,
Yeah, they might need the space too, or something like that.
yeah, I would like to just yeah, I would just take it back with Bear Trap because I think we can only hold one. I don't really want to give puppets. It's not a disaster.
No.
But and the Pope is not great either. Poland's at 5. Warsaw and Comic Con are both gone. So it's
Mm,
definitely annoying, but not a disaster.
yeah. Yeah, but if you're giving the Pope, then presumably you're just putting two right back in
Yes.
Poland. So
So it's an
you're not
empty
using it
AR.
for other.
And it's a
Yeah.
little worse than an empty AR. It takes Poland from 0-5 to 1-5. That's not the end of the world, but it's an empty AR,
Yeah.
just like
And
discarding it to Bear Trap would be.
yeah, so is the thought of with if you play puppets to put two in Argentina? Okay, well.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do now. We're committed to the bit here. This has got to be puppets to Argentina. I don't know if I'd want to give the Truman is gone, by the way.
Okay.
So
Oh, I don't like that. That's playing a little fast and loose.
yeah, you know how I feel about John Paul.
Preaching to
Uh,
the choir, Justin.
okay, they're gonna take Brazil. That makes sense. Libs has to be an event, and one of these cards has to go to space.
And part of the problem with leaving Poland open is because they can't immediately fix it now on a future AR.
Yep.
Like if they had a bunch of ops to put in Poland, maybe it would be less of an issue. But
I also want to point out that Warsaw is gone, and Sweden, with my blessing, they went with a very greedy Warsaw. They put 4 of the
oh
5
yeah,
Warsaw ops into Yugoslavia and Bulgaria to stop a turn 1 Europe dom. It was 100% the right play at the time, but
uh-huh.
now. But Poland could be at 1-5 now, and East Germany could be at 6 if they had not gone with that.
Hmm.
Again, I thought it was the right decision, but that's making things a little bit awkward in Eastern Europe.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Okay, well now
Yeah.
we have these realigns here. Yeah, I think you have to space. Okay, they do hit it,
Mm.
and now we'll see if they try realigns. But even if they
Yeah.
don't, Team Sweden does not have Dom in South America.
Yeah, that's quite rough given the head start there.
Yeah, this was a
and
rough
and
hand, and maybe
also
those ops didn't need to be spent in Asia. But I get it. You don't want North Korea getting jammed. Having North Korea jammed when we didn't have ops to respond would have been bad too.
mhm. Ooh, one roll.
Yeah,
Man.
is this? Are
Would you
you?
go for Brazil here?
Do you go Brazil here
Yeah.
at +2?
I would, yeah. I think
Oh,
I
they're gonna go
would.
Mexico at even. That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, and they do hit.
Oh, oh man.
That's a big
Oof.
turn. South America now looking like it's going to be even. Oh,
Yeah.
and Decall is nice. Asia's nice.
Hmm. Okay, well, being able to score those Asia victory points is quite large, especially if Netherlands doesn't have much of a way to get VPs until late war. So it'll be big war games that, and also it might just be quite a large lead for Netherlands to be able to make up.
Yep. So Netherlands, we've seen ABM. We definitely have not seen Junta. I don't think we've seen Brush either. So I would expect
Hmm.
one of those to be
Oh,
headlined.
yeah.
Yeah, and there it is. So this is just Argentina, coup Argentina, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really see anything better. And if it hits, then things are looking quite
Yeah.
dicey in South America.
Then you're looking at a U.S. Dom in South America. And it all
Yeah.
started, Max. It all started with that Panama play we didn't like, right?
Yeah,
If they
that's
just fold
true.
Panama and trade
Yeah.
Quagmire, um, then none of that could have happened because this was all
Yeah.
done with ops. No events up until now, of
Yeah.
course. No
Yeah.
events.
I was like, major kudos to Netherlands on the Brazil jam with China. That was a very keen play.
Yes, that worked out well for them and caused all kinds of problems here. And now they're a big roll away from a dom in South America, but at the very
Yeah.
worst, they're going to wind up even. Not
Yeah.
100% sure what's taken so long. It seems to me it would be an easy Argentina coup Argentina, right? You don't need to go Venezuela here.
Yeah. I mean, with Venezuela, you could realign again if needed. So I'm
Well,
not too
and
concerned.
again, even if you miss the roll on Argentina, they
Right.
can't take back both Argentina
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's
Venezuela.
it. Yeah.
So then you can just Netherlands can spend a three. Yeah, okay, they missed the roll.
Oh. So tough failure, but still looks like it'll be a draw.
Yeah, and I think Netherlands probably happy with a draw. Netherlands probably
Yeah.
kicking themselves for not finding one op to get into Nigeria though.
Yeah. Right. No, totally.
Sweden had a bad miss on a coup there. Remember, they rolled a one on the anything but a
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
and Netherlands did not spend the one to get into Nigeria, and they're going to pay for it.
No. Yeah. The one in Angola instead of one in Algeria is interesting. I'm not sure. I think I would have gone Algeria because if Netherlands wants to flip a country in Africa, they can just flip Nigeria. So leaving Angola open to that as well is not such a big deal, but maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, maybe they're worried about CRG. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Uh, yeah, and this would seem to be this is fine.
We need to protect Angola and Zaire at some point, certainly.
Yes. Remember, I said so. They did miss the roll on Junta, but Brush is around, so we could
Yeah,
see a Brush on Argentina as well.
yeah. Would you go Argentina or Panama?
I think it's got to be Argentina with South America unscored,
Yeah, that
even
does
though the
make
odds are
sense.
worse.
Yeah,
Especially because Sweden is going to score Asia now. That's going to be what,
right.
five, I think? They're up two
Yeah.
battlegrounds minus one for Afghanistan, so
Mhm.
they're going to be at 11. Netherlands is going to want VPs now, not later.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, and right now their only real source of VPs is Europe. They could start taking some things in Middle East. I mean, Middle East is surprisingly unfilled.
Yep. Um,
Mexico needs to be taken. So Netherlands now does have quite a bit to do.
they do. So they need to take They first and foremost got to take Venezuela.
Yeah.
At following that,
And then,
Poland is still sitting there at 1-3.
yeah, that's true.
That's a little bit of a
Hmm.
weird play. That can be fixed with one op. I would have rather saved that for later.
Yeah.
Wonder if they
Do
have a
they not
weak
have a
hand.
guilt-free two even?
Oh, okay. I know what that was. I suspect that was okay. I want to take Venezuela and poke Argentina so that you have to fix Argentina and then I can brush.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
But
Mhm.
that would suggest that Netherlands, again, my reads on this are not nearly as good as my teammate Ted Livermore. But that would suggest Netherlands does not have the scoring because if they had the scoring, they'd know they had time for this. Okay, just gunmen and
Wow.
some pretty
Yeah.
underwhelming
And
have
some,
not.
yeah. Wow. Yeah. Not much, but sometimes you gotta you gotta get rid of gunmen.
Yep. And now
Hmm.
the other thing to think about, yeah, this is going to be five. The other thing to think about, I was talking about brush, but flower power is in effect. So you get two VPs out of
Oh,
flower power. Sweden gets arms race off. All of a sudden, you're getting mighty
yeah.
uncomfortable if you're Netherlands.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, and was there any real way to fight to stop that Dom in Asia? I mean, it would have taken a lot of breaking, I guess. Oh,
Well, you
oh
were right. You were right. They should have gone Panama.
no! It's rough. Ooh, no, I do think Argentina was the right choice, but
Yep,
always so
that's a
rough
big
to just be
miss. And
off
of
by 10.
course, um, now arms race is a concern. You could trigger how I learned to be in position for arms race, but I think Netherlands will sniff that out pretty easily. So maybe you abandon that idea
Oh,
and you just take the three ops to maybe
oh,
take a country like Saudi.
yeah, although actually, Netherlands has nowhere to coup, no non-battlegrounds to coup.
Oh, that's still true. You are right.
So yeah, no, how I learned actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, Indo-Pac is out, Brush is out,
Yes, the
right?
wars
So
are
no, it should
gone.
be, yeah, it should be guaranteed,
That is
unless I'm missing
right.
something.
I did not think about that. Yeah, how I learned for the event, arms race for the event makes sense. Now, then you have
So it's
three
five
ops of
ops for
CMC, and then you got a
3 VPs.
space
Yeah.
on the Berthold
Um,
Lagrange.
I think it's fine. I think five ops for 3 VPs seems like a fair trade. I would use CMC first. This is also fine. No, oh yeah. Well, no, that gives up. I mean, that's basically giving up the chance for arms race, though.
Okay, so now we're not getting arms race. We do protect Nigeria. We
Yeah.
do take an Africa Dom.
Yeah. So, I mean, taking Indonesia would still be nice to prevent threats to Asia Dom in the future. Shoring up Poland is a priority.
Yeah, I would have
Taking Cuba.
done that before what they just did, to be honest. Okay, there's
Yeah,
one.
agreed.
Grain to space for two. Yeah, boy. Okay, yeah. Boy, if they hit that,
Right,
if
right,
they
right,
get arms
right.
race off and then they get that space roll off,
Mhm,
they're sitting
mhm.
at 19.
Yeah. It's getting real tough to see a path back for Netherlands
It
here,
is.
except for Europe, which is why Sweden should really be extra careful with Europe.
Yes, Europe is sitting there wide open. Now, the other thing is sitting out there wide open is South America. Right now, it's extremely pokeable, or that.
Or viewable.
Yeah, and don't you have to use
Ooh,
China to fix that?
yeah.
I think you
Yeah,
do, don't you?
no way to get it back, but
Hate to do it,
uh,
especially with cultural gone, but I don't think you can allow. I don't think you can allow a dom to be scored on you here. Ugh.
yeah, that seems right.
No, I don't like. If you're gonna do this, I would rather put both in Argentina and just the one in Chile.
Yeah, four VPs. I mean, four VPs are givable, um, but right now Sweden is so firmly in War Games range, and also just the more time passes without Netherlands scoring VPs, the harder it becomes to make up the deficit. So yeah, even though it's rough, I think I would give up China.
Yeah, it's hard. I can see why you wouldn't because you're so far ahead, but man, things can change in a hurry. Particularly with Africa, one coup stolen in Africa, even one
Yeah.
CRG flips
hmm
that.
Yeah.
Um, Middle East is tied right now. That could go
Yeah.
either way. Asia's probably going to need a war or a otherwise big event to flip that.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, as we've pointed out, Europe is just sitting there,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
they really seem reluctant to use China here.
Yeah. Hmm.
You're probably gonna need a scoring redraw to get to 20 before the late war,
Yeah.
so that's unlikely.
Yeah.
But I would rather be up 14 than be up 10. That's okay.
Mhm.
A for P. Wow, A for P would be a good event there too.
Yeah, those three VPs do seem pretty important. I mean, with still maintaining the Dom, I think I would have taken the three VPs just because, again, I'm concerned there's not enough time. But maybe they're thinking that they're going to need good draws in the late war anyway,
Yeah.
if they're going to have a chance. So they might as well put it back in the deck.
All right. So chalk me up for actually having one good read that they did not have.
Yes.
The Netherlands did not have the scoring, and they wanted to
Yeah.
prevent Sweden from being able to dump it. So the scoring is going
Yeah.
to come turn 7. Sweden trying
Mhm.
a poke here. So I think But again, this can just be fixed with one op. They don't necessarily have to take Chile. They just need to
Yeah.
put one into Venezuela. I don't like this. I would much rather put two into Poland than one into Venezuela.
Yeah. And also, with already using AFP, I might have jammed Argentina to try to make Sweden presenceless to just for more of a threat.
Yeah, that was possible too. Okay, yeah, and well, they heard you. Maybe my only thing, maybe Sweden thinks that Netherlands is going to try an AR-7 CRG here,
Yeah, that's
and which
possible.
would be quite troubling.
Yeah.
And so this maybe stops that because it stops the Dom. And you
Yeah.
certainly, because you certainly don't want to hold CRG through if you're
No, yeah.
Netherlands. That would be a very bad thing to do.
Hmm.
Oh, they're going to give OPEC
Oh, okay. Yeah.
for
Well, that's
just
fine.
one.
I
I
mean, that's,
think
yeah,
that's
that's the bad.
right.
Hmm. Well, some interesting cards here. Decal is really nice to see. Muslim could be absolutely huge for long-term Middle East dom.
Yes,
Fidel's would be
indeed.
nice to see.
We do not get this. We do not get South America, and we do not get anything with which to contest South America in the headline.
Yeah.
So this may be a South America headline from Netherlands if they don't have anything better. Netherlands does get CRGs, which I've been talking about.
Mhm. Yeah.
I wonder
Well,
if
an
there's a
arms race is
Decal on the
back,
line to
so
potentially answer that. This also could just be a South America headline. Well, and there we go. Thank you,
ah,
Anton Scott. Appreciate your efforts here on editing the video. Duck, CRG, NTB, one small step, and South America scoring. Cards that I'm
hmm.
sure that Netherlands happy to get.
Yeah. Well, especially holding NTB, I'd be curious if they try duck and cover to make up some victory points.
Problem with Duck is if you headline it, then Sweden can just immediately take back
Yeah.
Chile.
They need to have a good hand and think that they can just do a bunch of jamming,
Yeah,
but that still might be
Muslims is the
too
only
risky.
is I think Muslims is known.
Hmm. Yeah.
So okay, special
Which was nice.
nice but pretty underwhelming. It's two
Yeah.
VPs, but it doesn't help you on this board really.
I mean, I guess Netherlands is thinking that they're going to score this South America Dom anyway. Well, yeah.
Boy, a big
Now,
I don't know. I don't know. Big roll on this coup,
yeah,
and maybe not.
but you can still get realigned. What about China into Chile? Doesn't feel great, but that might be the only way to stop the Dom. But at this point, probably Sweden should just give up on stopping South America Dom, I guess.
I don't hate that. China into Chile makes you make them roll the dice. Now the problem, what I guess what they're going to
Yeah.
do is they might just roll in Africa and say, okay,
Well, yeah, yeah,
we'll get China out of the deal. We'll flip Africa Dom.
right.
Okay, and they miss. So
Yeah,
now
it's not going to
NTB
be
takes
enough.
Venezuela and Chile.
Yeah,
But Sweden does get arms race off.
yeah, that's quite nice.
So they'll blunt
Yeah,
some of that.
yeah. I guess that's an extra reason to coup. That's a good point.
Yeah. So you're saying, okay, I think you just give up. You just give up the
Yeah.
5 and take your 3.
Oh, they're concerned about.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah. Okay. Okay.
yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Especially because Netherlands is probably willing to take some risks at this point. So
Yeah, you're right. Okay, you
they
don't
probably
want
would
to. You
go.
don't want. You're fine giving up 5. You don't want to give up 8 or 10. All right,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
fine with this.
Now, I mean, yeah, arms race is unknown though, so Netherlands is probably not going to play around it, which is one more reason to think that it'll probably be safe next AR.
Yes, I have to think that Netherlands is just going to score here.
Yeah, that definitely seems right.
They might space potentially to threaten one small step, but I would score first before I tried any shenanigans with that, particularly with one small step
Yeah,
known.
yeah, definitely agreed. Yeah.
I don't think there's a reason to wait on the scoring. Um, yeah, there it
Oh,
is. Okay,
there
so
we
they
go.
get the 5. I think we take
All
arms
right.
race now. No, we space, right? I think we
Yeah,
space
that.
first. I would rather space first because I want to force Netherlands to use one small step to stop the double. I do not want to allow them to space for 1
Mm,
and then jump ahead.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean that seems good. Yeah, I like that.
I think I would have spaced first.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you'd play this for ops. I mean, space or arms race seem like the two main things I'd be considering, but taking Indonesia is nice, and I guess just retaking Poland finally?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Camp David's annoying to give here. I guess we're holding Bear Trap again? I would have gotten rid of Bear Trap on turn 4. Middle East, Gunman. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
wow.
That is a
That's
jackpot
huge.
moment.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
is you've lost your two best scorings and Gunman. That is huge.
Yeah, that's just a game-changing draw there.
Oh,
Oh, and with Europe. Oh man.
we got a brand new game.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying that it looked like it would be hard for Netherlands to make up the VP deficit, but still down by a few, but without an obvious way to get victory points. But Africa's so dynamic, Central America could really go either way.
Yeah. So I don't believe decal is known in the Swedish hand. I don't think that it is. But they're probably waiting
No,
for
it's not.
AR7 on CRG.
Yeah.
I would space here. Okay. All right. This is
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. So just decal right back. Yeah.
Yep. And they're going to be very sad to see decal. I believe they're going to be very sad. It might be known, but I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is. Yeah. It came out. It came out turn 4, I think.
Yep. But now unlike before, of course, both Nigeria and Zaire are flippable with duck. And all
Yeah.
3 cards in the Swedish hand are known.
Mhm. Hmm.
Or it's flippable with that.
Oh,
We got some redraws here, folks.
yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Although
I think Camp David is givable
I
here.
guess like that was flippable with a garden variety 3-op. I don't know that we needed to use ABM for that. I might have saved ABM if we were in position to do that.
Yeah, unless they're trying to hold duck for headline.
I'm not gonna maybe. I doubt we'd headline a known duck, but
Yeah.
We Will Bury You is around.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see it. Okay.
Hmm.
I might have just used.
I mean, I guess they just wanted some security in Zaire.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they had
or
another
that.
card. That's it. They had another card that they wanted to hold. So they used duck there. All right. So now Sweden is up 8,
Hmm.
still with a lead, but Eastern Europe
Yeah.
looking incredibly weak.
Yeah.
Marine barracks bombing is nice, but no. But Middle East is scored. Africa, boy, you've got to get
Yeah.
something there. Oh, and A for P redraw.
Oh,
I
well,
didn't like their use of A for P, but it paid off well for them. They got
yeah,
the
worked
dom
out
and
okay.
they redrew it.
Hmm.
That's 4
Yeah.
because it obviously takes effect before Allende.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we have to take a coup. This is just a Formosan coup on Nigeria, right?
Yeah. That seems right.
That
And
we
no need to
still
do it.
Africa is 3 is
The,
3 for
the
the
problem is they can
US.
realign Angola, and I think I would take that shot on
Yeah,
Angola. I mean, the realigns on Angola. So it's a nice roll there.
a nice roll. Realign Angola is possible, but it doesn't give.
I guess just take the Dom. They could just just take the Doms. Maybe 2 Botswana is fine to take the Dom.
Yeah, 2 Botswana would be
Or 1 Cameroon, 1 Zimbabwe is
quite
fine.
annoying. They might also fix Chile, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, playing for, well, they don't know that Sweden's holding Africa, but yeah, taking Chile is certainly good too. I mean, 2 Chile, 1 Cameroon is fine as well.
No, you're right.
No, no,
They
okay.
do take Chile.
Well,
So, well, this is an immediate
oh,
double
well.
scoring, right?
Yeah, I think it has to be.
There's no reason to do. I mean,
There's
I
nothing
guess you
else.
could take Botswana. We could take Botswana, try realigns, but I don't think we're getting Botswana, keeping it, realigning, flipping, holding, and then also scoring Dom. I like this.
Yeah.
That seemed like a lot to ask.
Yeah, the chance of Dom there seem, I mean, possible, but relatively low. So yeah, no, I like that. The good news is that with Middle East and Asia out, shuttle is totally givable.
Yeah, shuttle is free.
Small blessings.
Glasnost. Okay, well, that is okay. That's a nice 2VP. Although we have
Yeah.
demonstrated we don't have war games.
Yeah. An underwhelming roll, though.
Yep, and I would like. Okay, that's fine. I'd like to get. No. This is right. You've got to obviously retake, and I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this.
Yeah. That
OPEC
certainly seems
obviously
fine.
has to be an event.
Yeah.
SOT.govs is pretty darn useless with the fact that we gave up 2 special triggers.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Mm.
Portuguese could be a useful event if Netherlands tried to get frisky with realigns there.
Hmm.
Still like
Yeah, that's a
taking
good point.
Botswana for the long term. Ooh,
Hmm. Interesting.
that's annoying.
Hmm. I mean, hmm. Socialists to just do you retake and poke Costa Rica? But then you
Yeah,
can't really follow up. That's the problem.
this is fine.
But
I
at least
guess you
gives
do
it.
this. You hope they don't have another 3. Then um, you coup Colombia with MBB.
Yeah, I guess. Would be nice to use that for the event, but yeah,
Yeah,
probably no way
I
to
think
here.
you don't. I mean, there are, of course, the dangers of the well-publicized dangers of the USSR getting to Space 4. But boy, I would love to have a shot at a 3VP space shot next turn. I'd also love to have headline
Yeah.
peak. Um,
No,
but
totally.
so I'd like to space bear trap. But obviously, you draw
Yeah.
green next turn. That's terrible. Also, North Sea gets headlined against you. That's terrible because you really need these 3
Mm,
VPs of OPEC. So I think
hmm
bear trap's
hmm
getting held
Well,
again.
yeah, that seems right. Also, let's talk about Indonesia was finally taken.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Still 8-7 country count. Okay,
Oh,
well, they
they
heard
did
me.
it, all right.
They
Yeah.
finally spaced bear trap. Had been holding it, I believe, since maybe not turn 4, but turn 5.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Hostage crisis for a
Yeah.
jam. Okay, we get teardown and Cal. Also get salt and terror though.
Hmm.
It should be pretty
Yeah.
easy to deal with this hand. What we don't get is war games.
Yeah. Okay, well, no North Sea at least.
Yeah.
So maybe just headline OPEC, right?
Yeah, I guess you headline OPEC. You could headline Cal to give up 2 VPs and stop the coup. Then
Yeah,
you could
interesting.
space tear down and be rid of both.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's interesting.
I maybe you headline OPEC and you don't and Netherlands doesn't coup because they're afraid of war games. Okay.
Interesting, yeah. Well, and I'm not sure I see how terrorism could be better than OPEC here.
Yeah, gunman is gone. Ortega is not a factor.
Yeah. Okay, well, not so bad.
Okay,
Oh,
so
hostage crisis was
yeah,
in effect.
terrorism was doubled. So terrorism's certainly great, but I don't know why it's better than OPEC.
Yeah, and you could do that later in the turn.
Yeah. I mean, I would just trigger OPEC now, right? Unless
I
we
mean,
want
I'm
to.
gonna delay it.
Yeah, we also have we could use salt to fill Saudi, but I might like the salt event.
I guess they're figuring that North Sea definitely isn't being played as the event because Netherlands can't use that many action rounds.
Yeah, but why did we space there? Why not trigger OPEC first? I one small step is
Yeah,
gone. One small step is
yeah,
gone,
yeah.
so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. So now they're going to see OPEC. So
Yeah,
now we must trigger OPEC
yeah,
so that we
yeah,
don't see
definitely.
North
Hmm.
Sea.
Yeah, cooing Haiti is pretty good here with the CIA
Yeah,
up.
cooing
Not
Haiti
sure I
is
see anything better than
nice.
that.
And then if we coup back, we might get North Seed. I know I'm harping on it, but we're kind of getting to the
Yeah,
point where things are you're talking about war games.
No, for sure.
You're giving up a VP with Reagan bombs.
Yeah, I mean, and now we're getting to a point where the board has definitely tilted towards Netherlands.
Yeah, Netherlands up battlegrounds in Africa, DOMs in South, Central, and Europe. Sweden does have
Yeah.
Dominasia. Ignore that. Okay, we say solidarity. So
Mm.
no North Sea. Got to just fix.
Yeah, both Asia. I mean, the thing about Asia is that I still do not feel secure with that Dom at all because one poke eliminates it.
Yep. So a poke of now the only pokeable country. Yeah, I mean, I guess it would have
Burma
to be a
and
poke
Taiwan.
of Burma or Taiwan.
Yeah.
But still, that could happen. Okay,
Ooh,
this is
just
a
roll
pretty
there.
painful Che. You
Yeah.
don't want to give that up. So they must have something better to space because you
Ooh.
certainly okay a big roll there.
Yeah.
Also stops Dom in South America.
Yeah. Got to take Peru or something
Yeah,
now, or
and
just
you
do
want
that
to go
Colombia.
back.
Well, don't need to do that immediately, I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, and
With South
we have
America.
not talked about this at all. Latin American debt crisis is huge here. I can't believe we didn't mention it. Latin
Oh,
American
so
debt crisis after a double terrorism and with 4 in Brazil and 4 in
of
Chile is
course. Yeah.
devastating for
Oh,
Netherlands.
yeah. Great point. Of course. That is certainly why they were thinking of terrorism. Although, I mean, I still maintain that terrorism didn't have to be in the headline. But no, that's a really good point. And
Yeah,
now they're preparing for it. Nice. Yeah. Although it would have been probably just as good in Chile. So
yeah,
not clear that they need more
I would be
in
fine with choosing
Venezuela,
it in Chile.
unless they're trying for OPEC point in Venezuela.
Yeah, I don't know. Wouldn't you rather have the salt event?
Yeah, I think I
I mean,
would.
I mean, you could OPEC and salt for OPEC and OPEC again.
That
There's
seems
certainly
great.
something
Yeah.
better even than that. You could Latin
Yeah,
American debt crisis and then salt for Latin American debt crisis. Oh, what you
that
could
would
do is
be
you could
hilarious.
salt for terrorism. Salt for the doubled terrorism next turn.
Wow. Oh, that would be. Oh, that would be
And get the
really
last
nice.
AR, right?
Yeah.
That seems much better than 2 in Venezuela.
Yeah. No, I certainly agree with that. It seems like a lot of options from the discard. That would be
Yeah.
more interesting. Yeah. Hmm.
Finally, they do
It's
take their OPEC
finally.
points, and then we're going to see Latin American on AR7 when Netherlands has nothing to discard.
Yeah. Oh, there's a War Games. And
Okay.
well,
Yeah, and now
no, I
Teardown
mean,
is gone.
yeah,
Teardown is gone, but Chernobyl very much a thing.
yeah. I mean, Chernobyl will be enough. You don't really need extra
Yeah,
support. EU is around.
barring a purge or anything like that. Yeah, that's huge.
South America just flips so much here.
Okay, and then yeah, gonna hold Cal. Cal was actually a great card to hang on to though because Netherlands had, as we saw, missile envy with the entire hand known. So Cal turned out to be
Yeah,
great missile envy defense.
yeah. hmm That's a good point. Yeah, not a big deal to hold on to it with China and such, and Teardown already out now.
So let's look at the board now. Um,
Hmm.
South America is going to be a dom for
Yeah,
South America is going to be a red dom. Figure that's, I mean, that could be 8 or 10, but let's figure it's at least 5 red.
yeah.
Africa right now is 1 blue. Central is 2 blue. Europe is 5 or 6 blue. Do we get Chernobyl? We do not.
EU at least.
Yeah, we do get EE. Yeah, and there it is.
Oh, and there it is. All right.
Okay, well, nope.
Ooh.
This is a How I Learned headline and a real line of Poland.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It could because NATO only applies to U.S. controlled countries. Poland is not U.S. controlled. We headline How I Learned. We realign Poland at +2.
You can see them checking there. Hmm. Yeah.
This is an easy play. Yeah, right. I mean, that's your only play because if you get Poland to 0-7,
Yeah.
Chernobyl is nothing. It's useless. But
Yeah.
now with Poland at 7-7, it's 3 in Poland and then another 9 in Eastern. They only need 12 ops, and we have nothing
Yeah.
to bother them. Yeah, this is this has got to be How I Learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Set DEFCON to 5 and realign.
Yeah. Yeah. And they are on the same wavelength.
Yes.
Oh man, big realigns.
Huge moment in this game, and I guess you are going to you probably use Cal for this. Well, no, you use We Will Bury You, I guess. So that
Yeah, I
if it
mean,
somehow misses, you can realign again.
yeah, that seems right. I agree with that. I mean, you can always use Cal later because DEFCON's so high. So
Yep.
yeah, I agree. Use wheelbarrow.
Okay, they're going to use Cal and give up the 2 here.
All
Okay,
right.
now it's at
Ooh,
+3,
okay. Yeah.
and they hit.
All right. All right. All right. All
Solidarity and the
right.
Pope both gone. EEU is safely in our hand.
Yeah. I might do it one more time. Maybe no need to risk it,
I don't
but
think there's a need to risk it now.
yeah. Okay.
They need 6 ops. They need 13 ops to flip Poland. They need 22
Yeah.
ops in 7
Okay. That's
ARs.
fair. That's fair. And they don't have
That,
EU, right?
yeah, no
Yeah.
EEU, no solidarity, no Pope, no teardown.
And yeah, no salt for teardown either.
Yep. So they should be giving up on that idea now. And now
All right.
Sweden
So,
up 6.
yeah.
Now Europe's 5, Central's 2, Africa's 1. But
Yeah.
they're ahead. Sweden ahead in the Middle East. They're ahead in Asia. They're about to be way ahead in South America. This looks like a win for Sweden.
Yeah, hard to see unless Netherlands has a particularly good hand. It's hard to see a path here because Sweden doesn't really have many problems.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be looking at maybe a coup of Haiti, a flip of Cuba, and then have the score central control. I'm fine with this. Yeah,
Nice roll, yeah. That seems good.
yeah. I think that there's more to be lost than gained by realigning Poland.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, and their rolls held out in South America as well. That's really nice to lock it up.
Yeah. So I think
And
yeah,
yeah,
13 ops to flip Poland, and then I think another 9 if I'm counting correctly in East Germany. It's
yeah,
22
yeah.
ops over 7 ARs. That's just too many.
Yeah.
You'd need grain pulling EEU
Mm,
maybe.
hmm.
But we Star Wars safely in our hand and not active anyway. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, so Assault is gone. I think this is a nice EEU. I would probably space EEU next just to
Yeah, that
forestall
seems good.
that. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
I think you just take that
Yeah,
back
I
with a
just
2,
was
right?
build that. I think
With
that's
Star
fine. Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah, just with Star Wars is fine. And Lib Theo is a big event here too.
Yep, LibTO is very annoying. I think you just take this back. I think you're fine. I mean, to your point, you just need just a poke stops Dom, but I think you're fine with Asia being +1, given how the rest of this board
Yeah,
goes.
right. And now at this point, the rest of the board is more than good enough that it's not a big deal.
Yeah, South America was 5 blue. It's now 10 red.
Yeah. Wow.
So Middle East is 5 red. South America is 10 red. The scoreboard is 4 reds. That's 19. Even if you only give them 1 for Asia, that's 20. To Europe 5, Central 2,
Yeah.
Africa 1. That's their +12. Let's generously assume Netherlands winds up with Africa Dom, which is no sure thing. That's another 3, but still okay.
Yeah. No, VOA is in the deck, right? It was used
Yes,
end of turn 6, I believe.
yes. VOA is around.
But that's still probably not enough if they need to make up 12 victory points.
Yep, yep. That's
Yeah. Well, taking out of Cuba could be 2 up. All right. Well,
nuke subs.
it's something,
Okay, you're
but
gonna flip Angola, but you still need to take a non-battleground and deal with
yeah.
this.
Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't seem like it can be enough. Yeah, I'm just
Just
repairing it.
jam. Yeah.
That seems fine. And also seems like it would have just been fine to space there.
Yeah. Okay, they're gonna take it back. So they do get the VP of China. But this is fine. Or just taking 2 non-battlegrounds in Africa is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, both seem good.
If Netherlands has VOA, which is the only scenario in which this is even a game. Oh, well, that worked emphatically.
Big
Cuba
6-1, but
at,
too little, too late.
yeah.
Oh, all right, it's something.
You gotta take Cuba back. Yeah, I think that's fine.
So 2 more plays. Or, sorry, last play.
Just one more play. If it's VOA, you don't have a non-battleground in Africa, so you can't take Africa Dom. You can't take South America presence. Best you can do is take away 2 VPs in South America. So you can take Cuba for 2. You can take Chile for 2. You can take Syria for 2.
Yeah.
And then you take, I guess, Burma for 4.
Yeah. But that's still not enough. That's definitely not enough.
Let's do the math. Europe is 5. Central is 2. Africa is 1. So that's 8. 9 with China. So US plus 5 when you count the board. But then 10 in South, 5 in the Middle East, and then 5 more in Asia. Is 12. Okay, well, that certainly is not going to do it.
No, it's
so a nice win by Sweden on a creative play on turn 10 to get those green lines in on Poland.
Yeah, the astronaut was huge there. Nice counter to Chernobyl, and definitely the exciting omit with Middle East and Asia and gunmen being discarded was looked like it could be a big moment, but then just wasn't enough.
Yeah, that was huge, and the game really felt to me like it might turn.
And it's not the Latin American debt crisis.
Yeah, the Latin American debt crisis was huge.
Really, it could still have been Netherlands' game, except for Latin American debt crisis with terrorism.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see the final margin here. Okay, they did hit that one. Final margin of 13. Yeah, I mean, the Latin American debt crisis alone swung at best, it was even for Sweden, and they wound up with 10, right? So that swung that swung 10 VPs.
Yeah. No, it would have been quite close, I think, without that.
So yeah, that was huge. It would have been an extremely close game.
Yeah.
And so yeah, very interesting one. And then of course, that crazy turn 10 play, which is, well, they got to dodge Chernobyl. They weren't able to dodge Chernobyl, but they realigned Poland. So a clever play there. And an interesting game. So Max, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I agreed. There was just one of those where it really looked like things could swing to US, but then just didn't quite come through. And the possibilities that Netherlands had, Sweden was able to counter. So well done to Sweden.
Okay, well, Max, sorry I had to start this game without you, but thanks so much for joining late in the early war. It was great to have you along, have your insights and thoughts on this one. But that's going to do it for our coverage of Nations Cup Twilight Struggle here on Action Round Zero. Thanks to Anton Scott for providing the video and, of course, being our executive producer, keeping us online and on the air. Thanks to Max for joining me. Thanks to these guys for playing. And thanks most of all to you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this game as much as we enjoyed bringing it home to you. But until next time, for Max DuBoff, Anton Scott, this is Justin Abramson signing off for now. That was fun, but now it's done. So long, everybody.